Yeah, no, it's not a good vantage point. And, please, circuit managers, give us a headset that works so we can go into the media centre and commentate from there, because it's a much better view from up there, isn't it? All those little pluggers that are really for the lights, so all those things Yeah, they certainly are indeed. That is Richie Welch leading as they charge their way down through Cascades for the first time. Yeah, well, Richie's got a little bit of lead over Cooper. Now Cooper's trying to get himself into that slipstream. Looks like his machine's got maybe a little bit more at the top end. I know Richie was struggling with the gearing yesterday. And I genuinely agree with Dougie is that you actually hitting top gear because he was 3 teeth out of the back sprocket compared with everybody else. Which makes you think he wasn't actually finding top gear at any time. Well, whatever the issue was yesterday, it certainly isn't there today because he was streaking away. You just know Alan's going to give him a hard time. However, Alan's got a stupid guy and he will know that Richie's only here to play, basically. So rather than get involved in a tussle, which is involved in his arms and his hair of them, he might decide to stretch the better part of Alan and just follow the man, let him set the pace, basically. Here we go then, into his 41st time, a long line of bikes coming down towards him, 2 overtaking meters down the back there, and it is indeed Alan Cooper who has taken over the front running there, ahead of Richie Welch. So all of a sudden Richie's no longer the pace setter, that's going to go to Alan Cooper. Now the other person who was rumoured to be coming out here today, and would be in this race and was here yesterday, and that would be Kev Woolley, the lap record holder. I don't think Kev is there in happy season or
as everybody else filters the way through there. I just saw the yellow machine of the Renter Racer, of course, supported there and in fact maintained, isn't it, by Len Whalen, who I can see down here on pit wall. But this weekend that is being ridden by, I did see Chris Whitlock. So he's having a good weekend there, and what a circuit to come to and run.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know if the YPM Renter Racer is available for any more events this year. Same is true of the MZ Renter Racer as well. Graham Lewis is running that, and if you're interested in getting involved in racing, it's a great way to dip your toe into the water and see if it's really for you. And I promise you, it is highly addictive. It's probably safer to take up heroin at the end of the day. Right, down the hill we come into Hizzies for the second time of asking. Alan Cooper looking very good in the lead there. Dougie just dropping back a little bit, probably about 8 bike lengths behind now. But I tell you who's getting a hard time. It is indeed Richie, because David Ball is right behind him. A little bit further back, I can see Mark Hayden's machine then leading the rest of the field through. Mark, very impressive clubman, of course. He came out on the Renter Racer last year. An interesting variety of lines. The further down the field we go, the more interesting the lines become, of course. And again, the YPM's very spread out. I think the leaders are going to be back with you very shortly, mate, when the last of the runners and riders is just coming down into the chicane here.
Yeah, got the leaders in towards Lodge at the moment there, Keith. Got a good camera there all the way around Lodge and down Deers Leap, which is always good. So we could look up now, and there they are bursting out from underneath the bridge, and it is still Alan Cooper. He went 0.2 of a second quicker in the first sector there. The gap was 0.9. And in fact it holds around about 0.9 in fact, as David Ball moves up to second place and has the fastest lap of the race at the end of the first of the flying lap. So 156.5 Keith compared to Cooper's 156.7, Welsh at 57 flat. So Haig, MacArthur, Whitby, Moog, Butchell, Davies and Bursko is your top 10. No changes of position inside the top 16, which is rare apart from that one between Ball and Welsh for second place, but at 56.5 and the gap is less than a second.
Yeah, no, you obviously a lot of chopping and changing going on throughout the field, as you say, but unusually today, not too much going on. Paul Firth going quite slowly there, so I think he might have some sort of an issue, but we'll worry about that in a moment. as I wait for the leaders to come back into sight, waiting to pop over the top of Clay Hill. Great spectator point up there. I can see a lot of cars parked over there. And yeah, I certainly mentioned the grandstand. It's completely disappeared from here. We've just got the gravel, so hopefully they're going to rebuild that at some point with something a bit more permanent. Down the hill the leaders come then. Still that three-way battle being led by Alan Cooper. I'll tell you what, Mr. Ball, he wants to have another gold medal to take home, mate. He's getting closer and closer to Cooper. That gap's about 3 bike lengths as they come past me. Obviously, Dougie is, sorry, not Dougie, I keep calling Doug because I'm so used to seeing those colours with Dougie, of course. It's Richie there. He's trying to hang on. And I'll tell you what, the slightest slip for those two, and I reckon Richie will pounce. He's got a lot of experience under those leathers, that's for sure. Rest of the field come running through.
Just a quick one, Keith. Adam Collins, unfortunately, has come back into the pits. So 77, Adam Collins, he was in 27th place, he's back into the garage.
Unlucky. Well, hopefully nothing too major. Well, as we always say, particularly with the YPMs, I know the MZs are exactly the same. If you have a problem with your bike, you'll be surrounded by nothing but competitors desperately trying to get you out there, because everybody wants everybody else to have a really good time.
Well, the gap's closed up as they come across the line to complete lap number 3, and it's a David Ball leading the way over Alan Cooper by a 1/10 of a second, and it's a 55.8 now for David Ball. It's the only person to go underneath the 56th. Richie Welsh with a 56.1 on that lap. So the lap record there, he said it was a 53, didn't he? So we're a little way from that, unfortunately. But to David Ball, Alan Cooper and Richie Welsh separated by a half a second, and they are 8 seconds up the road from the first of the clubmans in 4th place overall. That is Mark Haig on the 110 bike. But Ball, Cooper and Welsh all locked together on circuit now as they go past you, Keith.
Yep, we've got 2 very similar battles. The battle for the first 3, very close indeed, separated by about 5 bike lengths, and then the next 3 also having a battle covered by about 5 bike lengths as well. So who's in that battle for the 4th place there, mate?
So it's Mark Haig, Paul Whitby and Liam McCarter.
Paul Whitby and Liam McCarter. That's right. It's Liam McCarter's the joker in the pack there. I'm not used to calling his name in the top half dozen or so as a rule, so it's good to see Liam having a good run there. Because Liam, I don't think was, he wasn't out at Brands Hatch by the look of it, so he certainly didn't score any points. So that's good to see him doing well. Here come the leaders, they're back past me. Yep, that 2 bike lengths, and it is David Ball now who has taken over the front running there. Oh no, sorry. That is David Ball, having a look over his shoulder. Alan covers in quite similar colours, and here comes that second battle there, and he's still being led by Haig, Whitby, and then it's McCarter. I'm not too far behind McCarter there. Is that the number 6 bike of Alan Bushell? Or no? Yeah, it is.
We've got Mook Bushell's up, but it was Mook ahead of Bushell, so it sounds like Bushell's just made up a position on this lap.
Yeah, I think so. Just double check that in case I missed him, because the trouble is these pillars in here are so thick. It's a greenhouse, but it's not particularly a glass house, this place, isn't it?
No, you're right. That's the trouble, is the leaders come back out of theirs, they've been back across the line once more, and it's number 30 of Alan Cooper who's retaken the race lead, and 6/10 of a second is his advantage now as they go in towards Old Hall Corner then, over David Ball and Richie Welsh. Looks like they're coming into some back markers now as Paul Firth on bike number 2 comes across the line to complete his 3rd lap. So there's the battle for 4th place. Mark Haig still holds on to the advantage in that particular scrap, ahead of Paul Whitby and Liam McCarter. Then it's moved. Ian Davies has moved up a position now, relegating number 6 Alan Bushell down to 3rd in the class. That's the clubman class for Ian Davies and Alan Bushell. Damien Lee, Andy Bursko, Andy Wales in 12th place on circuit, 9th place in class. And then the number 84 of Bert Ellison, Keith, inside the top 13 ahead of Ridley, who's made up 2 positions on this lap over Derek Cripps and Danny Goff.
Okay, all good. A little bit of chopping and changing. How many laps into the race are we, mate?
2 laps to go. 4 completed, 2
4
to
down,
go.
2 to go. Okay, so we are now at 2/3 distance officially. So if anything were to happen, this would definitely be a result right now. But hopefully that won't be the case. And just as an update, the chap who got helicoptered out of here yesterday on the Hems, that was John Hamilton, the YPMer, and John's absolutely fine. Apparently he's texting from hospital. Got a little bit of a bleed on the brain, but nothing to be too concerned about is the word I have heard. So very happy to hear that, as we see Cooper now leading Welsh and Ball. So it's all chopping and changing there, and they're all about to get the hurry up flag, so it'll be interesting to see how that shuffles out. They've had the first of the back markers dealt with. Behind them it looks like Whitby's got the better there of Haig, and McCarter still hanging on there, and it has to say it looks like Alan Bushell's getting a little bit closer, so we could have 2 very good battles with some serious places here. Here comes the next battle coming past. I can see Bursko in there, Andy Bursko, the man who comes all the way from Llanelli, or Pembrey as we probably better off know it, and are able to pronounce it as well, of course, because yeah, Pembrey's a lot easier to say than Llanelli, because I always get Llanelli wrong.
Last lap flag has gone out now, and it's Alan Cooper, Richie Welsh and David Ball in that order, and there's only 3.5 tenths of a second separating those top three, Keith. So, well, Richie Welsh is in prime position here. In fact, he's looks like he gained a little bit on the exit of Old Hall Corner there, and is he going the wrong way round, it looked like, down Denton's, as Paul Whitby finds a way through on Mark Haig for 4th place. Mark Haig still leading the way in the Clubman's area ahead of Liam MacArthur, who's 5th in class, and it's at number 92 of Andy Mook. Coming across the line now, but Welsh, he's got a fighting chance here, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's definitely not an impossible task. It's, you know, he's determined. He's seen that last lap flag plenty of times over the years, and he knows what he's got to do. Trouble is, everybody else around him is trying to do exactly the same thing at the end of the day. So I'm looking forward to them coming over the top of the hill once more. Good to see the 100 machine out there. Usually a very reliable bike. Unfortunately, it had a bit of a problem on Thursday, but Len was able to change the gear shaft bearing and get it back in the game without too much trouble at all.
Yeah, that's Chris Whitlock on the YPM rental racer from Preston, so local man.
Here come the leaders. Oh, blimey, nearly a little bit of a touch there, I think, as we see a brave attempt at an overtaking manoeuvre from Richie Welsh there, but unfortunately Cooper shuts him off beautifully. Welsh has got a better line going up the hill there. Ball's trying to follow him. It's going to be tight. Welsh is trying to tuck in. Ball's trying to find its way past. This is all going to go to the line. I have to say, Cooper looks a little bit stronger going up the hill there. Looks to have some herbs under his right wrist there as Hay comes past ahead of Whitby. This time there goes MacArthur, and I think that could be the way that one's going to finish. The rest of them all chucking it into Hizzies there, trying desperately to gain the advantage. A few attempts, looking to go over, just make up a place, because it doesn't matter where you are, you just want to beat that person in front of you so you can shake their hands and say thank you for letting me beat you at the end of it. But the leader's going to be back with you any moment, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on it, and the checkered flag goes out, and it's going to be Alan Cooper who takes the victory then over David Ball and Richie Welsh, who waves at the marshals as he goes in towards Old Hall Corner. But 1 second was the gap, covering all three top riders, and it's a 55.856 on that final lap for David Ball, so he will line up on pole position for the race later on today. Mark Haig got the better of Paul Whitby in the end, so he reclaimed that 4th place on the circuit. It's still 25 points for the YPM Clubman Championship for Mark Haig. Paul Whitby inside the top 5 overall ahead of Liam MacArthur and Andy Moog. Then it's Bursko Lee, Damien Lee drops a position on that final lap behind Andy Bursko for 8th and 9th. Ian Davies and Alan Bushell, that is 10th and 11th, but more importantly, that rounds out the podium in the Clubman. So Ian Davies 2nd, Alan Bushell 3rd ahead of Andy Wales, Bert Ellison, Tom Ridley on bike number 166, Danny Goff ahead of 29, Derek Cripps. So the top 16 all across the line.